Hi, my name is Jen Cooper of JKC Mobile Notary, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I've got a surprise for you and a gift for you. This is my interview with Jim Allen, who teaches an amazing Google course to help you optimize your Google profile. And so, as one of the heavy hitters in our industry, it was such a joy to talk with him. He's a good friend, he's a great colleague of mine, and I really hope that you guys will jump on this video and really follow his directions because he is brilliant when it comes to Google. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. Hi, everyone. I am super excited about today's video. I have the awesome opportunity to interview my friend and colleague, Jim Allen. Hi, Jim. It's
Hey, thank you.
so good to have you here this morning, and I'm really grateful that you're willing to do this. So
Well, likewise, it's a pleasure. I'm excited about the interview here.
awesome. Well, if you don't know Jim or haven't heard of him, it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce you to him. Jim Allen is an Idaho notary and a loan signing agent. He's also a raw notary, which is a remote online notary. He's an awesome leader in our industry, and what has brought him to my channel today is this extraordinary class he teaches to notaries. His teaching specialty is setting up and optimizing Google business profiles. Jim is a part of my Notary Heavy Hitter series because he is the perfect example of seeing and filling a gap, a notary who creates a resource for other notaries. So that being said, I'm excited to get into this, Jim.
Thank you. That was an awesome introduction. I appreciate those words.
Thanks. Well, you are part of you do
Mm.
feel I think the people who become leaders in our industry are leaders because not because they sought to be leaders, but sought to fill a hole that was missing leadership. And you've done just that. So
Well,
I
great to
want
hear.
to,
Thank you.
yeah, I want to first ask you how long you've been a notary.
I have been a notary since 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm coming up on my first commission expiration date.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you been getting ready for, I don't know what Idaho's rules are for getting commission, but I know that I'm in my third year, not third year commissioned, but third year of working. By the end of this year, I'm going to start researching and studying for my test the following year because it's not an easy one in California.
Yeah, I understand that. Idaho's a little bit different. We don't have a test here in Idaho, so it's just we'll just have to reapply for my commission, and then I'm back in business.
Awesome. Well, I'm kind of curious what led you to become a notary and your notary journey up until this point.
Yeah, that's a great question. I spent a lot of years in the corporate world, and so I was in IT, and I worked my way up into being an IT project manager. And then they grabbed me out of there and threw me into project management for a marketing team, which I always wanted to learn marketing. I was just fascinated by it. And so I got the opportunity to work in a marketing team. And this was for a Verizon franchisee who ended up having about 800 locations throughout the United States. So I started there learning my marketing trade. Quite honestly, I got burned out in the corporate world. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I was on a flight to Chicago for a Salesforce conference. And just like every flight I ever do, I'm always listening to a podcast, reading a book, doing something to educate myself. And so I was actually listening to Mark Wills talk about the loan signing system. And I was like, hey, I think I can do that. So I started researching it, and I talked to my wife about it, my family, they all thought I was crazy. And I said, no, because it actually filled a couple of things for me. It was like, I didn't have to have inventory. I didn't have to have employees. And it was something I could do myself. And so about a year after listening to that podcast, I put it into action. Actually, it was about 6 months. And then I was like, whoa, I'm starting to make money here. This is real money. And uh, eventually led out of, I eventually made more money per month working part-time than I was making in my corporate job. I was like, this is ridiculous. And so I finally went, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I transitioned out of that into full-time notary. And at that time, I was a loan signing agent exclusively.
Now
So
that
that's the long story.
that all happened at the beginning of COVID, right? Right before
Before
COVID. Yeah. So
before
you were in
COVID.
a
Yeah.
poised position for that crazy interest train that we had during.
Oh yeah, I jumped on it at the right time. It was hot, and I just didn't realize what I was getting myself into. I really didn't. And then all of a sudden, I was figuring out what was going on. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And so I just took it and ran, and I ran hard,
Yeah.
and it was very rewarding. I'll have to say that.
Well, at what point in your notary journey did you realize it was important to have an optimized Google profile?
Well, part of my project at Verizon, and this was a Verizon franchisee, not Verizon Direct. But
Mhm.
one of our goals there was to get all of our stores online and be seen on a Google Business Profile. Because my director knew that if we could get everybody, all these stores transitioned onto the Google Business Profile, that we really could move the needle in sales. And it really did. It really worked. And so that was my project. And so I handled all 800 stores with a team of people. And so we got those stores up and running. I taught how to store leadership, how to use reviews, and all the little things that they needed to do. So I just took all that knowledge and just applied it into my notary world. And but to be honest with you, I didn't take it quite as seriously during, before COVID and during COVID, because I was so strong in loan signings.
Yeah.
I didn't have any time to do anything but do loan signings.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, do you think, well, you kind of answered this, but you think that having a Google business profile makes it easier to have a more reputable online presence?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like absolutely, it's the lowest hanging fruit you have as a small business owner, and especially as a notary. Those people that are not don't get that are missing out.
Yeah.
Um, and I was missing out. And just to kind of go back to that first question you asked me, is that when I was a loan signing agent, I was like, I don't want to do general notary work. I don't want to do anything else but this. Well, that's because I was making so much money. It's like, why would I want to do anything else? But I saw the cliff coming that we all have experienced. And I was like, oh, dang, I have got to change direction here and start working on getting general notary work. Thank you, Laura Buer. And she saved me there. And so, yeah, I started putting the gas on my Google Business Profile because it takes some time to
Yeah.
get that thing rolling.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I answered your question there.
You answered a couple questions, because it's also, if it's important for any business's marketing plan, it's going to be vitally important for a notary, right?
Oh,
For somebody to Google, which we all do, where's my nearest notary? Having that platform is vital. I think it's vital to the survival of a notary's business, personally.
it's absolutely vital to mine. Let's just take the scenario that Jim decided Google Business Profile wasn't important to him. I would not be a notary right now. I would be a W-2 employee, or I'd be transitioned to some other business, because that Google Business Profile is really what has boosted my sales in my company. I get more sales off the Google Business Profile, um, and let's say, people who are wanting wills, power of attorneys, title document, all this stuff, right? They're all looking for a notary near me, and it's right now.
Yeah.
And so if you are not there, you're missing out on this whole river of traffic. The other thing that people are not thinking about is that there are outside escrow officers outside your state that are looking for notaries in state where you're at to close those documents, right? So it's not uncommon. I get a couple of calls a week from escrow officers outside of my state saying, hey, can you close this deal for me? So that's, it's so vast. You just got to have it if you want to be successful
Yeah,
in the notary world, as far as I'm concerned.
that's great. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks.
you've explained your history on how you learned about optimizing Google. When did you realize that there was a hole in the notary community and that there was a space that needed to be created to teach notaries how to be proficient and how to optimize their Google profile, and what inspired you to be that educator?
Well, I think like a lot of people, we've all kind of got on that clubhouse train, and there was the clubhouse was fantastic for notaries because we got to all come together and learn.
Yeah.
And there were just some great communities, still are some great communities on Clubhouse. But back a couple of years ago, when things were hot, people were talking about Google Business Profile. And I was sitting in the audience listening to everybody talk about this. I was like, oh my gosh, no, you're wrong. Well, I know I'm right because I spent so much time in doing
Yeah.
this, and they're giving out all this wrong information. And so I'd get up to the top and I would start talking about, wait, no, don't do it that way. Do it this way because of this, and they would go, huh, how do you know so much about this? As well, I just spent the last several years doing this every freaking day.
I
And
was
so
in some of those rooms, Jim. I remember.
you remember, right? Yeah. And
Yeah.
so people would start, and then pretty soon, people are like, well, do you teach this stuff? And I was like, no, I'm just like coming up, just saying, talking. And it's like, people want to learn about their Google business profile, how to optimize it, how to get the most out of it, right? And so I started a class. I took a couple beta people, I call them my
Yeah.
guinea pigs, and
Yeah.
I just said, hey, would you be willing to pay me a little bit of money, and I'm going to teach you how to do this? And so I had a couple of people like have some faith in me and trusted me to do that, and away we went. And then pretty soon people were like, Jim, I'm getting calls. I said, I know. Keep going,
Keep
keep doing
going.
these
Yeah.
things, and you're going to see some success. So I've had a lot of people have a lot of great success off their Google business profile since learning how to do it. So
So your journey into becoming this person has been very organic.
very,
Yeah.
all by mistake.
All by,
I didn't
all by
plan this
mistake
out.
or on purpose.
All
But
by
yeah.
they were happy mistakes.
Yeah. Well,
You know.
I think that's the beauty in this industry that we're
Yeah.
in, but also the experience we bring with us, where that how that can fill spaces in the industry that we're in.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is holding people back from really jumping in and optimizing their Google profile, or finding it to be an important part of their marketing process?
Well, I think the problem starts with education, right? You just don't know what you don't know. That's it. It's like you need to learn the digital marketing world as a notary to be
Right.
successful as a notary, because there's so much search traffic out there that is looking for your business. You have to learn how to tap into that. And so many people just don't understand digital marketing. What does that mean? And so, trying to demystify, first of all, the Google business profile, and break it down to its simplest parts so you can understand how to optimize it and what does optimization mean and why am I doing this, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, I think it comes down to education, and people just don't know how powerful the Google business profile is. It is how everybody finds business. That's
I
how you decide who you're going to go purchase from,
mhm.
just from a profile and a review, a couple reviews. You make a decision, a buying decision. So, yeah, for me, my Google business profile is worth tens of thousands of dollars over the life of, or even in a year, it's going to be worth a lot of money. So it's very valuable. It is a resource we all should be grabbing onto. And I want to teach every notary how to do this.
Yeah. I want you to teach every notary how to do this.
Thank you.
I think that you're right. And I've never heard anybody put a money value to having your Google business profile optimized. I've never heard that before, but you're right.
Well, it's just like, okay, so you go out and do a flyer. It costs you money, right? And you
Right,
walk out and you hand these flyers out.
right.
This is what you're doing with your Google business profile. You're optimizing your flyer digitally so everybody can see it and decide to buy from you.
Yeah,
And the unique thing about digital marketing, okay, there's two kinds of marketing out there. There's traditional marketing, which is like you're going to go out and put an ad in some newspaper or whatever kind of publication,
right.
right? In the hopes that somebody's going to see you, right? So we want to put those ads in things that are like relatable to whoever's going to receive the document or
Right.
the marketing piece. The digital marketing is the flip side of that. Digital marketing is looking for people who are looking for you, right?
Right.
It's an activity that they are doing right now to find you. So like Notary Near Me is an intentional search to
Yeah.
find a notary.
Yep.
A traditional marketing method is just like throwing spaghetti out and see what hits on the right, see
Yeah,
what
whatever
hits,
sticks to the wall. Yeah.
whatever sticks to the wall, right? So I don't like traditional marketing here. I think some of it's necessary, but you should really focus on digital marketing and finding those people that want you.
Right. And
Yeah,
being there when they're looking.
yeah, exactly.
Do people need to be tech savvy, do you think, to have an optimized Google profile?
That's a great question. And no, no, I
No?
think that's a misnomer. Is that oh, I don't know anything about internet stuff or digital marketing. Well, one of the comments that I get out of my class is that he breaks it down in a non-techie way. So I am a little techie, but I'm more of a project manager than a tech
Right.
or an administrator, right? There's these different job profiles of people. Being a project manager and educator, I kind of like, I'm going to break this down so that you understand it,
Right.
not so that the administrator or the digital marketer, I mean, I break it down simple so that you understand what it is. And I think that's the number one thing I get out of people is like, oh, that wasn't that hard. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you just got to learn that it's not hard. You just got to put these pieces and parts together.
Yeah. I know people that have come out of your course that are literally tech handicapped that
Mm-hmm.
whose Google profiles are soaring. So
Yeah.
I think it just speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Um, Tell me a little bit about your course. And I think we know the answer to this, but what's your end goal for your students?
Well, the end goal is to get you to the point that you understand the pieces and parts of the Google business profile and that you can manage it successfully on your own without hiring a person like me to do it for you. I don't think a lot of notaries can hire a digital marketing guy to manage that. And when you can manage it on your own. So I do get people calling me, hey, can you manage this? And I basically say, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'll teach it to you, but yeah, I want you to learn how to do it. If you don't, then you have to find somebody else to go do that because I'm running my own marketing or my own notary business, and that's not my focus. Is to do your profile. My real focus is to teach you how to fish. I don't want to go fishing for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, and then the goal, really, the next goal is to get you active on your Google business profile, doing the steps that you need to do in order to be seen on Google. So there's a lot of things on the Google business profile. It's kind of like set it and forget it.
Right.
And then there's a section of things on the Google business
Yeah.
profile you've got to do on a daily and maybe not quite daily, at least a weekly basis to keep your profile fresh, like
Right.
doing posts, making sure your services and products are up to date, uh, getting reviews. And these are daily activities that need to be done.
Right. So I don't want to give away how exactly you're teaching this, but can you take somebody from having zero experience with a Google Business Profile to having a Google Business Profile that is working and that works for them?
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of time, the class requires that you have a Google Business Profile to begin with.
Gotcha.
But if you don't have a Google Business Profile, it's not hard to set up. You just need to go out. You can search how to set up your Google Business Profile. It'll walk you through it. Get that done. And then the next step is to take a class so you understand every piece and part and why it's important to optimize each part. A lot of times when we're going through class, we'll look at somebody's profile and there's pieces and parts that are just not done. So I ask, why didn't you fill this out? Just curious. And they're like, I don't know. I didn't think it was important. I was like, well, you have to understand that your Google Business Profile is like a pie, right? There's no one part that is more important than the other, but what is important is that you get a full optimization.
Yeah. I was going to just ask that, is what's the sell for people that go, well, I have a Google Business Profile, optimized or not, it's still getting me business. Do I need to invest more? What's going to change if I invest in optimizing and filling in that pie?
More conversions.
More conversions.
So conversions, I mean, there's only one reason that we have a Google Business Profile is for leads.
Mhm.
And the first thing that you want to do is that you want to increase engagement on your profile. Means like, hey, this is an attractive profile. I like what I see. That's engagement. The second thing is conversions. So once we get to the engagement piece, oh, I like this. It looks good. She's got a lot of great looking reviews. The second thing that you want to have happen on that page is a click to call.
Mhm.
And that's a conversion. So we want engagement, we want conversion, and that conversion leads to a sale. As long as you get them on the phone, you can convert them into a sale. So at least you get the phone call. That's the whole goal right there, is to get that
Right.
phone call.
Absolutely. Do you offer one-on-one training? Is your
I do.
course one-on-one or is it group training?
Well, there's a couple ways we can do it. One, I do a group training right now. It's twice a month.
Mhm.
So, and that's a group call, and there could be anywhere from 5 to 10 people on the call. I've had up to 30 people, but typically 5 to 10.
Gotcha.
And then, yeah, and then sometimes people are like, I don't do very well in class kind of situations. I'd rather do a one-on-one with you. Okay, let's do a one-on-one. So yeah, I can do either or.
Okay, you offer
And that's, yeah. And it's about a 2.5 hour course. So
one-on-one
it's
or even as a group.
even as a group, one-on-one and as a group. I got it down to about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Well, I imagine if you have 30 people and you have to look at all their profiles, it'd be longer than
No, well, we don't do that in a group.
you don't do that
Yeah,
in a group. Okay.
yeah, we would be there 5 hours.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, the profile is the same across the board,
Right.
right? So the nice thing about having a live training versus something recorded is that you get interaction with me, and I get to ask those questions that are like, I really would like to ask that question, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that's important for people, is like, there's questions in their head and they think, oh, maybe it's too simple. I don't know. Now I want all of them. I want you to, when you exit the class, I want you to go, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any goals for this course for this next quarter or this next year? Anything changing or growing or?
Well, I do offer classes outside of that. Like sometimes you'll see me promoting a Google refresh class. So students that have taken the class, I will focus in on certain parts of the Google Business Profile, not the basics, but let's dive into these pieces and parts and give you a little bit more knowledge in that. We also offer a content piece. So it's called Notary Content Delivered. And that is, a lot of times people are like, I don't have content. I don't know how to come up with content. Well, we come up with monthly content for you so that you can post your blog post or to your LinkedIn article, and also to your Google Business Profile posts. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I didn't know about that. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. Can I ask what you charge normally for your Google course?
Yeah, I charge $150 for the course. If you want to do a one-on-one, that is at $199. So and people are sometimes like, well, that seems a little high. I have to say, and I just put it out there. I'm like, I just want you to know that you work on your Google business profile. It will be worth thousands of dollars for you, and you will long forget about all of that, and you'll remember how you optimized your profile and you won more business off the internet. And
Yeah.
that is a thrill when you start getting phone calls from your Google business profile. And you're like, oh, this works.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. I get excited every day. I get calls. It's like, it's still working. I just shake my head. I love it. Love it.
I love it too. Well,
Yeah.
I want to transition here a little bit into the resource page. And by the time this comes up, the resource page has been out and I'm excited about it. But I want to remind you that we put together a Notary resource page and it has links to the best training platforms and supplies in the business. And Jim's course is a part of that resource page. He's offered an amazing discount to my viewers, and I can't stress it enough. Even if you think you have Google figured out, taking
Right.
his course will open your eyes. Will open your eyes to the places and steps that you're missing to truly optimize your Google profile. Since we know that for most of America, we have the opportunity to build our general notary and especially notary work. Most of our business comes from Google, then making sure that it's doing the best it can do for your business should be the top priority for you. You can find a link to that resource page in the description, as well as all of the contact information for Jim and myself. Jim, is there anything else you'd like to leave with the viewers of this?
Well, I just want to encourage everybody. I mean, if you don't learn from me, learn from somebody about how to optimize your Google business profile. It is the lowest hanging fruit, lowest hanging marketing fruit you have. That if you're like wanting more business for your general notary work, fingerprinting, wedding officiant, all those different little fingers of business that come off the notary side, you can start generating more work that way using and utilizing your Google business profile. And then last of all, Jen, I want to thank you for having me today. You're very generous for interviewing me and having me on. I appreciate it.
Jim, it was my pleasure. And I think that people, if they don't know, need to know about what you offer to our community. And so I wouldn't have missed this chance. Thank you so much for sitting down with me early in the morning. Well, early in the morning for me. I don't know how early it is for you, but for me, it's a little early. And again, if you guys need to know or want to know more about the resource page or Jim, everything is going to be down in the description. And I hope that you will jump on this bandwagon because it's going to be the best thing you can do for your business. Jim, thank you for being here.
You bet. I look forward to seeing all of you in class.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, I hope you love that as much as I love doing it. I hope it gave you some insight into who he is and what he offers. And as we said in that interview, down in the description box is a link for you to get access to the Notary resource page. That resource page gives you $25 off his Google course. So it's a $10 resource page, not too expensive. Go down, follow the link, and check it out because you're not going to be disappointed with all of the other resources that are available on that page. So like always, if you like this content, if you want more, like, subscribe, comment. I would love to hear from you. Jim would love to hear from you. But until next week, take care of yourself, get your Google profile updated, and get seen. See you later.